Mike here from Southern California Baseball Academy. I'd just love to get a little bit on your background and, as you grew up, playing baseball or was other sports, kind of take me up into, present day. How did you come to be the owner of, Southern California there? Did you start it yourself? Just kind of take me through the Coles notes of where you got to or how you came to be where you are today.
Man, no, definitely, man. That's pretty exciting, man. I'm pretty. It's a good thing, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. No, I started playing ball when I was 3.5 here in the San Fernando Valley. Out of what was it? Civil. I had a Civil Little League over here. Civil Pony Ball actually. Played all the way until I got to high school. I went to school at Kennedy my first year, and then I transferred over to Sylmar. Played there. Actually, I was a catcher growing up, and then once I got to realize that, and this touches on what we're actually talking about too. Once I realized that there was like 30 or 40 kids in the infield, and there were probably 10 kids in the outfield, I knew my numbers were better in the outfield. I mean, as an infielder, you should know how to catch a ball if it's a pop fly. So went out there. My buddy Max actually transferred out to San Diego. He moved to San Diego with his family, so center field was wide open. So I ended up playing center field. So I played center field. Yeah, and it kind of leads into everything that I do now because I got to share the stories with the parents to have them understand that outfield is not a bad position. It's a great position.
No, I mean, I think, Yeah, we're in kind of the same positions there. I was, everyone plays all the positions, right, when you're younger, and all of a sudden one of my coaches, 12, 13, 14 was like, hey, you know what, you're pretty fast. Can you track down some fly balls? And I'd love to. I've played, all the outfield ever since. It's been a ton of fun. Right?
It was great. I had great years in high school. It was fun. Did really good. Had opportunities out of high school to get drafted. Kind of took the back route. Same thing. Baseball and girls got in the way.
Yeah.
I actually, I was getting looked at by the Angels. I kind of, turned everything down. I ended up going to JC, Mission College for 2 years. Had 2 great years. And then after that, after my 2 years, I got an opportunity to play in Mexico.
Okay.
And had opportunity to play in Mexico. Played out there for a little while, and then I came back. I blew out my arm. Like everybody blows out their arm when they're younger because back then they didn't know about. Our dads and parents didn't know about our bodies back then. They didn't take a lot of focus in that. So we threw a lot of curveballs, and it was bad for us. We didn't know that. We just did it. So how I got involved with actually now owning a business. I started out really small. I started out with 2 cages in Granada Hills. I was lucky enough that the owner let me open up a cage inside his cage, where I grew a business. I grew a business to about 65 to 70 kids on my own. After that, I had a good friend of mine, business partner. He invested in me. I ended up purchasing one of my good friends' facilities, which he was kind of done with. He didn't want to run it no more, so he was like, "Look, you can take it over." We purchased it. Now I own a 10,500 square foot facility with 8 tunnels, and like I said, it's all a blessing. I've always trained kids throughout the years, but I took it on because I actually got laid off from the movie industry.
Okay.
And so I wanted to train and take it full on, and got into the travel ball. My son was growing in baseball, so got in the travel ball scene, made a name for myself in travel ball, especially with training. And now we're building this business back up to where we know where it could be, me and my partner. And we focus on development. On development. I don't BS people. I don't like a lot of new technology, even though that's where everything's going. It's as bad as it sounds, it's not a smart person sport. It's not a thinking sport. You just got to go out there and play and have fun. So being able to be raised in everything and see the travel ball world through my son's eyes and coach the organization that I've been in for the past 5 years, I got to witness a lot. So I train. So basically my training is all you know this. You see travel ball. You've seen it. The kids throw middle outside. And it changes in high school. They do the same thing. So, a bunch of old school training. That's what I do. I was trained like that. It helped me out. Focus a lot on stuff. So we're here now, man, and it's a blessing to be with you. And I really thank you a lot for sharing this with me, man.
Perfect.
And share this with the community.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I appreciate you taking a few minutes here. I got to learn a little bit more about you right there. I don't know a ton about your organization or yourself yet, but something that really jumped out at me and what prompted me to reach out is, you had posted something on Instagram and it was like a comment of another post. And, I don't know the situation, but I'm assuming it's going to be very common, in all sports across the country, is that there was a head coach of, I believe it was a volleyball team, but again,
Yes.
It doesn't matter what sport, suddenly left their position. And, it seemed like kind of a shock to a lot of people. But the overall impression I got was just that there was a lot of parents, probably riding the coach or complaining about, I'm sure a bunch of different things, right? Playing time or, how their kids being used on the team. And, I think that's very common, right? It's, memes across the internet, Facebook group posts, all of those types of things where you just hear the stories over and over again. And, I just wanted to kind of see, where your thoughts were on that. What were you thinking when you saw that post and kind of made your reply?
It's been happening for years now, man. It's been happening for years. Mm-hmm. And before we touch on this, I do have to say, the journey with me in baseball has always been hard for me because I don't know if you know this, but the center fielder for the Giants, I forget what his name is, man. I actually looked more into it. I'm actually trying to get a hold of him to talk to him because I was actually blessed with ADHD and dyslexia. So the learning in baseball was always a complication. So it wasn't an easy ride for me. It was always hard because, the focus and everything like that. So I just want to I know that, and that's what's happening a lot these days. There's a lot of kids with ADHD and dyslexia in the sport that it has to deal with, but it's another topic we could talk on.
Mm-hmm.
But just wanted to touch on that. But about the post, it's been happening for years. It has been. Mm-hmm. And what really hit it off for me was, and because I deal with it on a daily basis. And I'm not saying it's my parents. I just deal with it because I hear it so much. Yeah. Especially with my son being in high school. There was a couple years ago, if you go back on a couple of my posts from a couple of years ago, maybe months ago, there was a kid that parents were suing a coach for bullying him because he benched him.
Oh man, really?
So the parents were suing the coach for benching him. And I got a little bit of backlash from probably 2 or 3 parents, but this is what I think parents don't understand is that, and I read through the post. I don't know. I don't think they ever said. I don't think it was ever settled. I don't think parents even got nothing. Which I don't think. I think hopefully the judge was smart enough to see through the BS.
Yeah.
Is when a coach says it's an optional fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying that because technically they're not. You don't have to go.
Yeah, of course.
It's optional. I get it. Every practice is optional. Everything that they do is optional. But as a ball player, I got to show that I'm there every time because I want to be a leader. I want to be a guy, what we call a dude these days. Mm-hmm. You got to show that you're committed to the team to be that leader so people can look up to you. If you don't show up, they don't respect you.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And as a parent, it's our job to get these kids to understand that you have to go out and compete in your daily life. You can't, a boss is not going to tell you or me that it's optional to come to work. If you don't worry about it. You're going to have your job.
Yeah, no.
So it kind of like went towards that era. And then when this came up, it's actually been coming up a lot more that these coaches, especially here in the San Fernando, I didn't know Southern California, that a lot of coaches are getting fired or getting laid or resigning and parents have a lot of influence on the staff and they're going above and beyond. Mm-hmm. Like because they feel like their kids are getting treated in a way that they shouldn't get treated. To me, that's what kind of set it off, and it kind of like it upsets me because it's happening in more sports, not just baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we know this as parents. I'm not around my son 24 hours. He's at school. Yeah. When he goes to practice, I gotta believe that when my son's at practice, he's giving it 120% or more because he wants to be on the field. He wants to play the game. But am I always right? No, because I know that kids are kids. They're gonna slack off. They're gonna do what they want to do. I'm not around them. But guess what? I got to make sure as a parent that I installed the person to compete to go out there and earn his job through the way he's working. A lot of parents won't. A lot of parents. I know my son. I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing because it shows that on the field. But a lot of parents won't take the accountability that their kids are just lazy. Some kids are lazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And with that being said, we're not there with our kids 100% of the times. And the coach sees it, and if the coach isn't playing him, there's a reason why. It's not that no coach will ever straight out. You know this. No coach is ever going to straight out say, "I hate that kid. He's not playing."
No.
No coach is ever going to say that. So it kind of set me off to the point because I see it all the time. I deal with a lot of coaches, high school coaches, and little leagues and pony ball, and every coach has and every coach's job is to determine especially in baseball, the best 9 to start that game. A coach has a job to do.
Absolutely.
A coach has a job to do. So he has to put his best 9 out there. He's not going to put little Timmy that's just giving him, 50% of practice and, I'm going to start anyways because, if he doesn't start, my mom and dad are going to come complain. Like,
yeah, exactly. So it's, it seems really, pretty wild. And, you sometimes hear those, those cases or these things happening and you just shake your head. You're like, what's happening? Right?
Yeah. But then I look at the parents and I'm like, but you're okay with this. You're okay with this. Cause how I always put things in, I always put it like school and like work. Best thing about baseball, and I don't care what anybody says, baseball is the greatest sport ever because, it teaches you how to compete. It teaches you how to go out there and become a man and to win a job. Just like in your everyday life, like you don't get handed a job anywhere. You got to go fill out an application, get an interview, and you got to step into the interview like you step up to the plate with confidence to go get it.
Yeah, you got to show your boss or your coach why you deserve to be on that starting roster, right? Whether it's in the office, at the job site or on the field.
So it's just like saying, your son didn't make your son got cut today, and we're going to tell you why. He needs to work on this. He needs to work on this. And plus in practice, he ain't giving us 120%. And then the parent will sit there and look and be like, wow, well, that's not my son. Okay, well, if their son gets fired from a job because he's lazy, he doesn't do 100, he doesn't give it 120%, are you going to go into his job and complain and try to sue the employer?
Yeah, it sounds so ridiculous, right? Yeah.
And that's what sets it off for me. Like it's funny, I get so emotional. I get so emotional about it because I don't want to see any kids. I don't want to see any kids fail. That's my main thing. I don't want to ever see any kid fail. I want to give the right information to the parents to have them understand, like, hey, it's your son's job to go up there and talk to the coach. Unless the coach lays a hand on him, disrespects him in any which way, like calls him names that he shouldn't be calling them. Okay, then you as a parent step in.
And then those things are probably going to happen. Very rarely, but that's it's very rare.
What coach hasn't said something to you that motivated you?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, my coach Engelman knew I had dyslexia. And during a football game, he was my football coach. And during a football game on a punt return, I was like, I totally forgot what was happening. I didn't pay attention in the huddle like I was as a kid. And all of a sudden, I looked at the coach. I was like, which way do I go? And he goes, and I knew that he was messing around, but then one of my players went and he gave me a signal, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going this way.
Okay, I got it, yeah.
But it's one of those, like, what coach hasn't tried to motivate us in a way that was kind of mean, but it was to get the best out of us.
Yeah, for sure, right? And I think that's probably a huge part of being a coach is understanding, how to communicate with different players, right?
Yes,
and, just like a boss or an employer, you got to figure out how to get the best out of your athletes or your workers.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
And I don't think, making a joke like that would work for everyone, but that coach had a great relationship with you, I'm assuming, understood that dynamic.
Exactly. And I knew that he didn't mean no harm to me because he knew that he can get the best out of me if he approached me in a certain way, especially with my baseball coaches. All my coach Cooper at Mission College was he was probably 5'6", 5'7". He was an awesome ball player, man. The guy would hit taters off of a tee like nothing,
Yeah.
just to get us to run. But he would yell at us. He would get on us. But we came together as a team and knew that it was no harm in it. It's baseball. He's getting the best out of us. And like you said, a lot of times parents take it out of content. I mean, you know, they take it over the limit. He didn't mean that. And that's where I come in, and I got to reassure parents where, look, the coach is trying to get the best out of your son. He's not trying to be mean. You know,
Absolutely.
So that's where, like, the posts and everything kind of had it. It's been a lot built up in my posts. Usually when you see my post and a lot of it has to do, if it's negative, I totally apologize to everybody, but it's nothing to be negative towards people. It's to get the word out there, to let the parents know that let your kid go out there and compete. Let your kid be a voice. And like I said, until he's disrespected in any which way, but let your kid go out there and earn the spot. Don't throw money. Don't say, hey, I'm this, I got this, because it happens a lot. You go to a private school. I'm forking out $45,000. My son should be obligated to play. There's no one that's been in the minor league, major leagues, and college that has said, hey, just because your mom and dad make millions, you're going to get this scholarship. No, it's not going to work like that. You got to compete. But if you want to make that $1 million, go do what a millionaire does. He works.
Yeah, he works hard all day, every day. Yeah.
And it's the reason why there's still 1% that are in the MLB, because the people that are willing to work is that 1%. The ones that just do average, you're going to be average.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's where a lot of it has to come from, man. It's a lot of built up, man. It's crazy, but you see it in travel ball too. Travel ball, it's like, oh, we're paying $300. You know, my son should be playing here. Why is he playing? Oh, let's take him to another team. And then they're like 5-6 teams in, and it's like, you're not even teaching your son commitment.
No, and at the same time, I'm sure the same situation's happening, right? It's, no, not playing, we're not playing, we're just keep bouncing, right?
Yeah, let's go to this team, or let's chase rings, let's chase this, let's chase that. And, you know, and in that world, the travel ball world, you just look for the coaches and the organization that is a development organization.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's my main focus. That's what I tell parents. That's what I talk to parents about. And I try, and you know, a lot of the times I'm not even coaching the kids. I'm coaching the parents on how to treat their kids.
Yeah, for sure. It's probably a tougher task than the coaching the kids, right?
Oh yeah, man. I get some parents that come up to the fence and they're just like, "Come on, like you got to be doing this." I'm like, "Wait, I'm the trainer."
Yeah,
What you came to me. But I mean, it's good. A lot of parents are understanding a lot more. I'm trying to like I said, I'm trying to be a voice to let parents know that their kids, you know, you really got to talk to your kids, and you really have to you really got to have that communication with them. So what are you doing wrong? Like, and have them be able to tell you the truth. What kid's going to honestly tell? You have kids, obviously.
Yeah. I have 2 kids. Yeah.
Of course, like, you know, you're going to ask your son or daughter a question, and they're going to be a little hesitant on what they're going to tell you, because they don't want to see they don't want to ever see us mad at them.
No.
It's going to be little white lies. But the more you talk to them, and you're able to be upfront with them, be like, hey man, you know, why didn't you start? Oh, well, you know, Dad, I just didn't work hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay.
No, you're not going to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to hear that. You're going to hear some. Oh no, I work hard, but the coach is playing this guy because he knows such and such. No, man, it's because you're not busting your butt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, so I think, you know, if you see, you're hearing a lot of these, you know, stories, right? And parents are going after coaches or above them, right? If we're in school or private school administration. What kind of effect do you think that has on, like, the kids, right? And I'm going to generalize. I'm going to assume a lot of the kids don't want to take it as far as some of the parents have. But, you know, they maybe kind of have to go along for the ride because they're 13 years old and this is what mom and dad says. What kind of, you know, do you see any negative effects on the kids after those things have been happening?
No BS. I'm not going to lie to you. I do see that there's a little more put them in a back seat. The more you start pushing, the more you get pushed into the back. And it's all it is going up to the coach and asking the coach, hey coach, what do I got to do? What do I got to do as a player, not as a parent, or even if it's a parent teacher conference? I think the best thing that I heard this year from a coach was when he was in a meeting. He said, "Look," he goes, "if you have a problem with me, if you have a problem with what's going on in this meeting, I'm gonna also call your son in, and I'm gonna call you guys in, and we'll all discuss this. It's never gonna be a parent-coach meeting. It's gonna be everybody together because I want you to also hear it from your son or your daughter that what he's not doing in practice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That route I totally agree with, and I understand that. And as a parent, I'll be like, I want my son in there too, because I want to hear his side. Because then you don't get that mixed information and you don't get the one person saying this, one person saying no. Everybody's there. We can't lie because we're in front of each other.
Yeah, the truth's going to come out, right?
Yeah, but it does hurt. I think it does hurt the kid more than it helps the kid when the parents start coming in, because I believe, and not to mess up anything that goes on in the world of baseball with coaches, but it does hurt the kid. We know this. I mean, the kid, he's trying to force something, and something's going to happen. Something will happen if the kid starts talking to the coach, but it all depends on how he approaches the coach too, though. It all depends.
Yeah,
on how
absolutely.
So you approach the coach with respect, he's going to give you the respect and a respectful, honest answer back. If you disrespect him in a way, then it's a little different. Then that's when it starts taking a back seat. And then when the parents start getting involved, no coach wants to deal with that. Not to say no coach wants to deal with it, but then it starts becoming like harassment.
Yeah.
Start harassing the coach. Why this, that? Well, this guy's making 15 errors, and my son hasn't even got an opportunity to make an error. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But kids do. I feel kids do get penalized in a bad way, but it all depends on how they approach the situation too. It does. How they approach it. Like I said, no coach is ever gonna tell a kid, oh, well, you came and talked to me, I'm not gonna. No, as a coach, as I was always told as a player, always ask me the whys. If you don't like something, ask me the whys. So we can come to a conclusion and we can fix it. Kids don't do that these days. They don't.
No.
So I think the whys are all the whys are like, hey, mom, I'm not playing. Go talk to me. Hey, mom and dad, go talk to me. And I've heard it, and I see it today still. I still see it today. I think kids do get pushed back a little more as they start pushing. But like I said, it all depends on how they handle the situation.
Yeah. Now, we talked about it a little bit before, and is there ever a reason that a parent should, step in, for that child or for that athlete? And if so, what is the correct process for doing that, right? So if I'm a parent and I have a concern about my daughter's, playing time, performance, or whatever's happening, what's the best way to approach that if I have my genuine, her interests at heart, but also looking at the team, right? She's still a part of the team, and I want the team to do well. What's the best approach for me to, contact the coach, talk after practice? Honestly, what's the best way to do it?
Honestly, I would think the best way to do it is just exactly like what I said about the coach. Call the coach, talk to the coach, ask him the why, what do I need, because like we know this, there's outside sources. There's outside source. There's training facilities. So you can't say. As much as I want to say, you can do it all at home. You don't need a training coach. You don't really need a training coach to get better at baseball. You can do it at home, 30 minutes a day. But you have outside sources. So if you feel that your son isn't getting enough playing time, if you feel that your son, may need, why isn't he playing? There's ways to approach him, and the way to approach him is basically send him an email. Send him an email. Hey, I want to meet. We want to talk. Nothing in a bad way. Just like I want to meet. I want to talk. I want to go over. Some. Stuff that. Or can you give me information that where my son needs help with, and not why well, why isn't he playing? Because now it takes it to another level. But you have to ask the. Hey, I know my son's not playing right now. I know he's not doing this. Is he lacking? And is he lacking at his position? What does he need so I can go get the help? And not, like I said, that you got to approach it in a way where it's nothing disrespectful for the coach to look at it and be like, man, like you're gonna come at me like that with no respect. I can't. You can't give respect unless you're given respect.
Yeah, don't put them on the defensive right away. Right, give them a chance to explain their coaching.
You can't. You gotta ask and first and foremost, it all starts at home. You gotta ask the kid. And hopefully they're being 100 with you. And and telling you the truth. You have to. And then at that point, you say, okay, cool. I'm going to go talk to the coach. I'm going to approach the coach, but I'm going to send him an email first because I want to arrange a meeting. And also, I want to find out what more do you need to do to possibly earn the spot. Every coach is going to tell you that. I had a kid a couple of years ago that I love him to death. I love these families to death. And he was at Long Beach, and all the coach asked him was, hey, you got to be more communicative. You got to communicate more. You got to be more vocal. You got to be more this. You got to be more that. And the kid wasn't vocal.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And all he was asking him for was this, and that. And then all I heard was, oh, the coach don't like him. The coach don't like this. The coach don't like that. No, this coach is a D1 college coach. He's telling you what to do to start, and you're not doing it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yet you're gonna say it's the coach's fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. So there's like you said, you got to handle in a respectful way. And the coach is going to tell you what he's doing wrong, what he's doing right, and he'll tell you, well, this kid is just a little bit better. Can he outwork him? Can he get the spot? Yeah, but he has to do a little more. So we all know this. The coach has a job to do. They got to start their best 9. They got to start their strongest players that day, that they feel that they're going to win. They're going to win that day. So, parents have to look at it both ways too. Is it that he's better than my son? Okay, well, I got to get my son better, or I'm going to transfer schools or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm,
but the parents have to understand that there's a way to go about it and be respectful about it. Don't try to take the coach's job because he's not playing your son. There's like I say, there's ways to handle it. I haven't been in that situation, thankfully, but
that's good.
But we know. But I know as a baseball player, how to approach it if your son and daughter wasn't playing, and hopefully that one day comes and they can say, I'm gonna change what I was doing. I'm gonna step up to the plate and I'm gonna go ball out. Every kid has the ball out. Every kid has the ability to go out there and do what they want to do. It's just sad that some kids play the game to just be on the team.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at a certain level, right? If we're, playing a rec league or a sport like that, they just want to hang out with, some friends and, be competitive a little bit. But when you start getting into some more serious teams, more serious, baseball, then we have to approach it a little different for sure.
And you know this, I mean, there's a reason why there's little league, pony ball, and travel ball now. And then there's minor league, single A, double A, triple A. It all falls hand in hand. So and the more you go, the smaller the teams get. And you go from playing on 1,000 travel ball teams, having 1,000 travel ball teams in pony ball and little leagues to high school where it has 3 teams, and then you go to college where it has 1. Well, you can't go to a college coach and complain when there's 36 kids trying to make a position. I mean, at that point, your son's either going to make it and get his 4-year degree, or he's going to make it to the minor leagues, hopefully. But it gets smaller and smaller. And with that being said, you got to let the kid's game speak for itself too. And at the end of the day, there's always going to be a kid that's better than a kid. There's always going to be a kid that's working harder than a kid. And is that your son? Is that your son? Does your son go out there and outwork the kid that's in that starting position 5, 6, 7 days a week, or is he working 2 days a week? And that's going to tell you if your son's going to get the starting job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I can't complain if little Timmy's, practicing 7 days a week and my son's practicing 2 days a week. He got a starting job because he actually looks flush, fluid, and smooth. And my son's like, I'm still a baby giraffe, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but at a certain time, you got to understand that the coaches are doing what's best for the team, not what's best for him, what's best for the team. How are they going to win? The coach has to has to win to keep his job, or has to be successful to keep his job. So it's not about trying to get the coaches fired. It's about trying to understand that, letting the kids go out there and compete. And if your son's not competing, talk to him, ask him the whys. Why is he? What is it he doing? What do we need to do to get you to that point where he is? And approach the coaches in a respectful way. And they're going to respect you back and give you an upfront, honest answer. No coach wants to deal with the headache.
Absolutely not. Yep.
Week's mom didn't fly down from Dominican Republic to talk to him because the Dodgers traded him to Cincinnati.
No.
And you don't see that. And And yeah, they're making millions, but oh well. But still, you got to let the kids go out there and compete for their job on the field.
Absolutely. Now, yeah. Now, if we look at, I would say, let's say travel ball, right? I mean, you can find teams of, all different caliber. Anyone can start a team and start, attending tournaments. As a parent, if I'm trying to evaluate a travel team and I've, joined one that's the practice field is really close, and initially it was really convenient. And, let's say, one of the parents or, we maybe don't know a ton about baseball, right? Like I grew up playing it, you did. So I can kind of tell what the difference in coaching, right? Good quality coaching versus someone who's just, there, or maybe we're really just focused on winning. Like I can tell those differences, but I don't think all parents can. For sure they can.
No,
right?
No,
so how do we, as parents, really evaluate, this team and this coach, and what's going to be best for that athlete? Right? You talked about it earlier, development, and that's really what we're looking for, not just to make them better athletes, but, better people, right? Better men growing up. How do I look and evaluate that coach or team to make sure that my, son or daughter, if it's softball or whatever, is in the best possible position that they can be in?
You know what? That's a very good question, man. I literally had to drive 45 minutes to go to I had to drive, and everybody always trips out on this, and it happens in Southern California. Actually, the area, San Fernando Valley, where I'm at, a lot of the kids from here drive 45 minutes away to GBG, CBA, and MVP Hustle because of the development and the coaches are amazing. Not that we don't have them over here, but it's it's just that baseball over there is way more. It's baseball. It's really baseball.
Okay. Yep.
So it's not about driving 45 minutes. And it's not about finding the most winningest program. Like we said, it's about finding a development program and the coaches that actually take the time to train every kid, not the ones that not the ones that. And you have to go in and every travel team will give you about a 2 week like you get to feel the teams and everything like that, and every team that they'll tell you, hey, come check it out, see if you like it. And that's when you get to determine, you get to see, okay, are these coaches coaching, not only the kids that are the dudes, are going to be the dudes on the team, but are they coaching the kids that that they got to focus with more, or are they pushing them to the side? So you have to really take that opportunity to talk to the coaches and say, hey, you know what, I want my son to be on the travel ball team. I want to check it out. We haven't really done it. And where did you come from? Did you come from a pony league? Did you come from a little league? Because it's two different coachings. So to look at a team and to figure out if it's good enough or is it good enough for the family? Because at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for your son.
Yeah.
And what's going to work for him. So the development and the development in coaching is the biggest thing. And you got to go out there and see it. You can't just take someone's word for it. I mean, if I take someone's word for it, I'd be screwed. But you got to go out there as a parent and you got to talk to the coaches. Hey, look, I'm looking to get into the travel ball. I want my son to be in a travel ball. Can we, before you start charging us, can we come to a couple practices, see if we like it, if it's good enough for my son, and then also ask the kid, hey, what do you think about it? Hey, if this is something you really, really want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think that's super important. I mean, looking at the stats, the stats of how many people actually make, even high school, college, and then get signed, and then even, progress through the system. So I think the first thing is you got to be having fun, right? You got to have fun. We know this, and I'm not the coach. I'm not a coach that's going to go out there and yell and this and that. I'll break you down, but I'll build you back up. I'm not going to make you cry, but I'm going to make you feel like, hey, you know what, that's wrong. That was wrong. So you got to make sure these coaches are actually doing that job too. So just to go in blinded and say, here, I want to play on your travel ball team. It's a hit or miss because, oh man, this is what we got into. Yeah, well, you didn't give it a try. Every team's going to give you at least one or two practices. Come out, check it out. If you like it, you like it. As a kid, having fun. And hopefully, as you go on with the team, it progresses and gets better, and you see the fun, but you see the kid competing and becoming a baseball and becoming an athlete in baseball in the journey. Because I focus on
a lot of teams focus on, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to develop you for high school, which is good. I want my son to get developed for high school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want, I want my son to develop. I don't want him to, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to make your 7-year-old a professional athlete. That's not going to happen.
No.
And so you got to make sure you go in there with the right questions, right answers, get the right answers, and very much be open-minded to what's about to happen in this journey. Because, travel ball is a lot different than it's more competitive than any pony, any travel ball. I mean, any pony, any little league. It's way more competitive. But you're right. You got to make sure the kids are having fun and they're getting taught the mechanics of everything.
Yeah. And I think,
Yeah. So that's a big part, man. It's a really big part. I mean, don't always look at. I would say don't always look at the money that you're spending, because sometimes the money that you spend is just a figure for the organization.
For sure.
Sometimes the top I mean, believe me, man. I played for a team that I played for the organization that actually it wasn't expensive. But I look at all these other teams and I'm like, you're paying $350 for that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like you're paying that's what you're paying for? Like, oh wow, like I trip out on that. Like I trip out on a lot of people that start organizations, because I'm like, man, you started this, you didn't even play ball.
Yeah.
So, and find out people's background. That's a good one, man. Find out people's background. Find out who's played, where do they play at. Don't always believe what you hear when they say we played minor leagues, we played this. Hey, if they ever played minor leagues, ask them for a ball card, ask them for the rookie card. And if they have that, then go ahead and believe it. But don't always.
Yeah, they're going to keep the rookie card, right? If I ever got signed, right, that's being, in the case, display case. My mom's got it. Like everyone's got one, right?
You can ask. I got 4 trainers. I got Carlos Gonzalez played for Cincinnati, holds his. Fernando Gallegos played for the White Sox, holds his. Jeremy Rodriguez, which he's a AAA. He's a AAA Dodger coach, holds his. Petey Montero holds his. Like a lot of everybody, they all hold their cards, and I'm like, I tell people, don't believe what people say. If they do say, hey, Don, let me see your card. I'm
that's great. I love it.
There's one thing that I will not BS anybody on, and it's just what we've played and what we've done. And hey, I see it all the time, and I'm like, I know you, dude. Like, you didn't play ball.
Mm-hmm.
You went on the internet, became a trainer because someone said to go ahead and lift the ball. No, don't do that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But honestly, find out the background of coaches. Find out if they are they developing each and every kid, and not just the kids that are good. Make sure that there's a good background with everything that goes on. And enjoy the journey that they're about ready to take. If they truly want to travel ball, enjoy the journey. I love every step that we have with my son up until this point in his freshman year. It was an amazing journey. So I tell parents all the time, my job is to get kids to where my son has been, and it's not going to be the same, but it's going to be different. But I want everybody to enjoy this process. I want everybody to have fun in this process, and that's what I base a lot of my training upon. And when we go through training, it's a grind, it's fun. But with travel ball, make sure you're doing the right thing and make sure the kids are having fun, because, man, it can be heart wrenching sometimes to see your kid go out there and fail. But at that time, you're going to see a kid develop into this person that understands that baseball is a failure sport when you wake up and think about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, as a parent then, and we can, kind of loop back to some of the, maybe a conflict with a coach, or maybe it's a teammate or any adversity, right?
Yeah.
What's something I can, pass down to my kids, right? What can I say? Hey, let's try and take these steps, or, what can I, reiterate in the car on the way home without harping on them about a bad game or anything like that?
You're hitting a spot right now, man.
Yeah.
I got chills. I got chills with that, man. And this is the biggest thing for me, man. This is the biggest thing for me, Sean.
All right.
And it truly is. And if I had a parent to talk to you, she would talk to you about it, and how I basically, and it's not only with her, it's with a lot of fathers, because we know what to expect out of our kids. We know what our kids can and can't do. We know when they're giving us 100%. We know when they're giving us 99%. I was that parent. My son's mom actually took me out of coaching because I was that parent that was hard on my son at like 6, 7, 8, 9, which not really.
Okay, yeah.
But I was that parent. So this is where it comes in good because I love sharing this story. She's the one that said, "You're you're not coaching baseball. You're going to center field." And this is why your son does so much better when you're not here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not lying to you. And I seen a difference in my son, and he started elevating the way he played because he was having fun.
That's
so
good. Yeah.
the thing that I can tell, I honestly, I can tell you, I can tell the next parent, and I'm always going to tell the next parent is there's already pressure on this game. We don't need to retouch on things that he knows that he did bad, striking out, missing a ground ball, not catching a pop-up, not throwing the ball to first. We don't need to be pounding in their heads that they did bad, because mom and dad, in my mind, well, you don't appreciate me for doing this. I'm not going to do it no more. That's why I don't believe that there's a what do they call it? What do they call it when the kids play too much? It's a saying that everybody said, I don't want him to burn out. I don't want him to burn out.
Yeah.
I don't want him to burn out. There's no such thing as burnout. I can guarantee you that there's no such thing as burnout. There is, I can guarantee this. There is a burnout of the parents.
Okay.
Just like you said, if you go into the car and you start talking to them about it, what's their first reaction? Dad's mad at me, Mom.
Yeah. Right. You're gonna get defensive and
Right. Mm-hmm. And what happens? And then the wives get mad at us because we're being mean to them. So I kind of look at it like this, Sean. If you hit a dog 5 or 6 times and you go to pet him the next time, what does he do?
He's gonna cower. Right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So the more we are at the fence yelling at our kids because at 6, 7, 8 years old because they missed a strike they're supposed to miss. They're not supposed to hit these.
Yeah.
if you hit a ball right now, it just has to deal with the right timing, right time. Mm-hmm. Right time, right place. It's what you did. You did everything good. I'm proud of you, son. If we can, as parents, understand this one point, let the kids play. Let them have fun. This game is based off of failure. There's pressure already on these kids when they're out there on a mound and one side of the fans are cheering for the kids and the other side is basically bullying the kid. Oh, you walked the kid. Yay. How does the kid feel at that point?
Yeah, they're going to feel terrible. They don't like that.
So if we keep on touching on things with these kids in a way that they aren't feeling appreciative, then they're gonna walk away from the sport.
Yeah, that's where you get the burnout, right? And they're done.
It's a burnout because so many kids do it. Not that the kids hate the sport, they like it, but I don't want to hear mom and dad no more. So I'm gonna go choose a sport that they don't know nothing about. It's what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
And baseball, and that's what parents have to understand. This game is based off of failure. Mm-hmm. You wake up. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? What did you do when you woke up in the morning before a game? What were you doing?
Thinking about the game.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why? Because you thought about it. Okay, I'm gonna go hit a bomb today. I'm gonna go get on base. You don't do it. What happens? Mom and dad are mad. We already set ourselves up for failure.
Yep. Exactly.
So like I like to say, appreciate that the kid is going out to play in one of the hardest sports in the world. Mm-hmm. Only because you don't have to go out and hit somebody like you don't got to go out and be mad and hit somebody like football. You don't got to go shoot a 10-inch ball in an 11-inch hoop and still be an eye person. No, you literally got to have the proper timing. You literally got to have the proper mechanics. You got to know what's going on in situations when it comes down to that. So this game isn't as easy as it is, as a lot of parents think it is. And we ride our kids a little too much. And I'm not saying that, there's a way to go about it, and there's a way to have parents understand that, you don't need to yell at your kid. You just need to talk to them and have them understand that it's okay. You're gonna fail. All I want you to do is go out there and have fun. And at the time, and then as they grow along, they understand it, because a lot of kids cry after they strike out.
Oh yeah.
And what do mom and dad do? There's no crying in baseball. You can't cry. You can't do that. And we start getting on them and we start yelling at them, and then they start, like a dog, they start like, oh, well, dad's mad at me. I'm going to my room and all that stuff. So we can't push them. We have to help them. We have to guide them, and guiding them comes with competing and having them understand that, in this journey, especially at a young age, it happens. When you get to a certain level, especially high school, I can't do nothing for you now. All these years of training and preparation in these leagues and travel ball is now for high school. And you can only hope that we taught them and the coaches have guided them in a way to understand that you got to go compete for a starting job now. You can't start because you're not on a travel ball team now. Now you got to try to start in high school. Now
you got to earn it.
Now you have to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think, not really touching base on them with, when you struck out and, you're going to suck at this sport. And like that hurts the kid more than it helps him. Because not only is he going to think about that the next at bat, he's going to think about that the next game until he gets a hit. And then dad suddenly says, dude, I love you. No, man. If he strikes out, if he strikes somebody out, if he misses a ball, hey, dude, I just like the way you make that. I like the way you gave it a chance. I like the way that
I love the effort, no matter what happens.
I love effort. I love that. Those are things parents need to really, really like sit back and really understand, man. And I'm really big on that. I'm glad you brought that up, man. That's a big thing to me because in the cage, I gotta literally tell parents like you can't talk to kids like you can't talk to him like that in here. Like you can't talk to him at the cage. If you want me to train him, he has to hear my voice.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and what are you paying for, right? Like if mom and dad know best, then we don't need to pay someone, right? Go do it yourself, right?
I'll send parents to the cars.
Oh yeah.
You got to go to the car because you're hurting them. And like the great thing about what I do, and I don't know if I hope a lot of coaches do this, is I literally make my cages a safe haven for kids. Like, and I'll talk to the kids, but I'll really be focused. I'll really be talking to the parents, but I'll be looking at the kids like, hey, no matter what happens. Like if you strike out, you pop up, anything like that, no matter what your dad tells you, and I say it right in front of him, no matter what your dad tells you, whether it's good or bad, he loves you. Like he loves you.
That's good.
It's not that he's trying to be mean. You can say whatever you want in my cage and you can't take it out of this cage and you can't take it off the premises and your dad's not going to tell you nothing because the kid has to be upfront with the dad sometimes, man. And so the dads can look at themselves and be like, oh man, I didn't know I was hurting his feelings.
Yeah. And that's all right. You're right. They may not even know sometimes.
Yeah, they don't because us as dads, we want the best for our kids. We do.
Absolutely.
We want the best for our kids. And sometimes, pounding them on the head I call it verbal abuse, isn't always the best thing for a kid because the only reason why I say that is because being blessed with ADHD and dyslexia, like I say, it wasn't always easy because my attention was always somewhere else. And still to this day, I deal with it. I mean, even talking to you can hear me rambling on, and I ramble. And it's because of my ADHD. And it was difficult coming up because I had to deal with a disability that a lot of people back then didn't. We were labeled as a disabled person. So I had to fight through a lot of stuff. I had to fight through a teacher telling me I was never going to be nothing because I was disabled. I was a disabled person.
Yeah.
So, with all these complications that come into baseball, we literally have to take focus on how to appreciate our kids playing this sport and understanding that, they're giving it their all. We're just verbally abusing them with our vocals because, we want them to succeed, but we also don't want to hurt them. So that's why that's really a big touchy thing with me because, I deal with a lot of kids with ADHD and I deal with some of this stuff and some of the parents don't understand what's going on. So, I have to literally sit down and counsel these parents and talk to them. And actually, it's actually worked quite well. It's worked a lot. I have a couple parents that I'm really proud of them, man, and how their kids are doing and how their parents are actually, their bond is a lot closer now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, I don't honestly, I think when you get in the car, you just tell your kid, hey, let's go get something to eat. So they'll look at you, what? That's not saying nothing. Yeah, they know what they did. I knew if I made a bad play. You don't have to tell me that.
Yeah, we don't need to bring it up again. I felt that enough. Coach talks to me, apologize to the teammates if it was a, mental error or whatever, but we moved on. Right?
Yeah, you move on. You don't. Yeah. I can guarantee you, and this, the guys in major leagues ain't going to be like, oh, well, we lost the game. Well, yeah, I struck out 2 or 3 times, but what are they doing? Yeah. They go back in the cage the same day, maybe the same night in the club, and they go.
Yeah, right after the game. Yep.
I mean, man, the biggest thing I can say, man, I was, I know a lot of people at Easton, and like 2 months ago, me and my son, and we walked in, and Ryan Healy's there hitting. Well, why does he need to hit?
Yeah.
He's a professional ball player, right? And I tell my son, look, you don't have to do it, but he's doing it. Mm-hmm. So, they don't, you let it go. The more the strikeouts and everything's on the mind of the kid, and you bring it up, it's going to affect them in the long run. It does. My dad hates me. My dad's mad at me. I see now more moms are doing it too. So
yeah, moms are getting involved. Yeah,
but it's, appreciate them, man. Appreciate their kids and understand that they're playing a sport that's a failure sport, and you don't have to touch on something that they know they did wrong.
Yeah,
absolutely. And if you want to talk to them about it, give it a 24-hour period process. Let them forget about it, and then the next day bring it up. Hey, let's talk about the game. What was going on? But that don't have to happen until you're like 10, 11, 12 years old. You're 7, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who cares? They're not gonna.
Move on. Let's get some ice cream, and we'll have a great night, right?
Great night. I guarantee you, they're gonna love the sport a lot more in the long run than they will. At 5, 6 years old, and you're bashing them with verbal abuse. They don't need that stuff. They're kids. Their minds are sponges, and they absorb. And the way you treat them as a kid is the way they may treat others now. Look at how everything's going now.
Yeah.
Like, you never know how you treat them is how they're going to treat others in the future. So,
for sure.
I like to say I like to create a good human being. At the end of the day, it's not always about baseball because this. It comes to an end. And what happens after and when you become a human and have to go get a job? Are you going to put everything not only your parents but your coaches put together and what are you going to do after that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, right there, that's an amazing kind of point there just to wrap it up is that, we're working hard and kind of putting, everything we can into our kids and their development, within the game. But, as parents and coaches, I think we also have to realize that there is, 22 other hours in that day that they're not at the field or the game, or that, they need to be good human beings as well. Right.
Yeah.
And, some of these lessons that they're learning in baseball are going to apply and probably, for most be even more important down the road.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely, man. And that's why I can tell you, I'll tell you this, and I can tell parents, it's not about baseball. For me, it's not about baseball. As much as I'm guiding them in this journey with them in baseball, I'm helping them with them. I'm helping them succeed here and there in this, these leagues that get into high school to possibly get into college. But at the end of the day, I want to create a human being that can go out. I say human because after baseball, you become a human, go get a job.
Yeah.
If you don't make it into like college or you don't make it in an MLB, you become a human, and you gotta go out there and respect others, and they're gonna give you respect back. So to create a good human being, to go out there and treat everybody with respect, to know that there's something bigger out there to go compete for it. Like you can't make $1 million if you don't compete.
Absolutely.
If you don't, you got to do what they're doing. So that's, at the end of the day, it's not about baseball. It's about creating a good human being and getting the parents to understand. In this process, you also got to help out with the discipline. I'm gonna do what I have to do as a coach. And every lesson, if you were to talk to my parents, they'll say, "Oh man, he puts everything in the school terms." Like, yeah, because you learn in school, and you want to hear what happened out with us, and you're gonna learn here. So it goes hand in hand. And to create a good human being is my footprint. I want to make a footprint where I know you could do this, and I do it all the time. Is I can reflect on the coaches that have given me the influence to do what I do today, and I thank them every day. And they've pushed me to be who I am today. So without those coaches being involved in my journey, I wouldn't be able to give back today how I give back. And it's like I said, they created me to be a good human being. My parents did too. But at the end of the day, I want to create a kid that says, "Oh man, I remember Coach Mike said this situation. I'm in an interview. Now I got to go knock this thing out." Like, yeah, man. Hey man, 2-0 ball count, don't miss.
Yeah.
2-0 ball count, do not miss. Hit it out the park. And if you don't, guess what? There's still a million jobs out there that you can have. Don't let one strikeout or one failure in the interview, determine on what you're going to be in life.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, I really want to say thank you and just I appreciate that message and everything that you're trying to do. But really, more importantly, I think I appreciate, and I'm sure all of you, your families and the kids that you're working with, today and over the years, really appreciate you being a voice for those kids as well, right? I think that was huge when you talk about talking in the cages when we're talking to the parents and kind of being someone in their corner. right? And I think probably a lot of kids end up missing that. And, sometimes it's, malicious, and sometimes it's, the parents just don't know. But it's an amazing thing to have, just another, maybe it's just another adult on their side.
And that's the thing. I think I get a lot more responses and a lot more out of the kid when they know that I'm not trying to, just because they miss a ball that I threw. Like, I'm not gonna yell at you.
No,
I'm not gonna yell at you. I'm gonna help you with this, and don't worry about it, man. Like, I throw balls at kids every day. I'm like, so what? You missed the ball. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who cares? Like, you go to get in there. You're 6, 7 years old. I don't care. Like, and I tell them, if you're 12, 13 years old, you're missing the ball. Now we have problems.
Yeah, exactly.
but it's all fun. I make it fun for the kids. I make it fun for the parents, and I think that's why my business has been good throughout the years, is because I'm not only a coach. I'm also a parent with the kid that's also going to. I pay my trainers to train my son, so I go through the same process too as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you're right, man. I just want to be another voice that the kids can trust and understand that I'm more on their side than the parents, because when I see a parent that comes in angry with the kid, I'm like, oh man,
tough spot.
Yeah, when he looks back at you, I know he's fearing you.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of break that ice with the kid and parent, and they become so much better, like family people, and a dad appreciates them a lot more, and they understand that, oh man, yeah, what everybody says, you got to hit 3 balls out of 10 and you're a Hall of Famer. Like, let's worry about that when he gets to the next level. But, man, I really enjoy it. It's fun, man. Like I said, thank you for this opportunity. If you ever want to touch on anything else, man, reach out to me, man. There's a lot more I would love to get out, man. And I appreciate this opportunity, man. And hopefully everything goes good.
Yeah. Now, if someone wants to, follow along, get in contact with you, check out your academy, where can someone find you? Anything coming up, clinics, anything like that? What do you want to leave people with here?
Yeah, man. So we're in Woodland Hills, California. We're inside Sunrise Little League. It's in Woodland Hills. We're in a Little League, and we have a bunch of stuff coming up since we're the brand new owners. We're coming out. We're rebuilding the name back up to what it was. We got a lot of clinics coming up. We got a summer ball clinic. We have a spring break clinic. We have a summer ball clinic, and then we also have our minor league coaches that are in there right now training kids. They can always come out and talk to the coaches, and man, just come out, have fun, and learn this game. Learn this game to what you can possibly be, and take it to a further level. To be, like I said, to create a good human being and create a good athlete as well.
I'm so in love with you. You got me down again.